Welcome to another episode of Revive Your Health Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Brandon Schriner. Today, special guest, supermom, Sam Linack, a mother of six, chiropractic advocate. She works in her office, great friends of the family. And so we're super excited to go through all things mom, health, faith, fitness, chiropractic. We're super excited about this episode. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment what you want to hear next. On behalf of Sam and I, we pray that you have a healthy, happy, blessed day. Enjoy the episode. Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's not easy to, take time out of a busy schedule and dropping kids off to school and then coming through traffic, but it means a lot. I know a lot of women and families will be blessed because of your wisdom today. So, so before we get into it, I think we're going to talk a lot about, just health and, what it looks like to be a mom, and just a world full. I feel like a lot of fear and questions, and there's a million different things I think that go through the head of a mother or somebody who just is actively trying to make sure that their kids are healthy in a world full of just chaos. But before we do that, I would love everybody to hear your chiropractic story. You've been a patient of ours for a really long time. If I were to pick somebody out of our clinic and say, hey, this person is kind of the example of what it would mean to live a 5 essentials life. I mean, not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I feel like you are on fire for chiropractic. So tell me your chiropractic story.
So I've been at Revive for over 7 years, and it's literally changed the trajectory of my life, of my children's lives. We came because Rich couldn't sleep on his back, and he'd gone to a chiropractor, and every couple of days he would be just in pain again. And he's like, I remember this guy at church, his name was Dr. Schriner. And he's like, and I feel like I need to go see him. And I was like, okay, well, let's go. And I'm someone who likes to be involved. So I was like, I want to go with you just to see what they say. So I came and I sat in the office as they went through, what chiropractic is and all the things that it can do. And they talked about ear infections and headaches. But what hit it for me was anxiety and depression. And that was something that was just taking over my life at the moment. And I literally thought to myself, I need this. Like, if this can help me, like I could be a better mom, I could be a better wife, I could do all the things that I want to do and not have to be taken over by, everything that I was going through. And so literally one by one, my husband came, my son came for headaches, my daughter came for ear infections, I started, and then we had 2 others at the time. We're a family of 6, so we're a family of 8. We have 6 kids. So they started. And then after that, we had 2 more kids, and they grew up, being adjusted since birth. And the way that we do things, the way that we see sickness, the way that we see health is all changed because we get adjusted. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I could literally go into a detail of every child that I have, or myself or my husband, and how our lives are different because we get adjusted, or things that we don't go through because we get adjusted. It's literally my favorite thing.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Would you say, because you could go through each of there, and there's like those traditional, headaches go away, and, kids don't necessarily have the sickness that maybe other kids would have, but you kind of talked about like the mindset and how chiropractic has kind of changed the trajectory of how you think. Mm-hmm. Like when I think about that, people say, well, why do you love chiropractic so much? I will always be a chiropractor. Maybe my trajectory of what God's calling me to do might be a little bit different, but the mindset of and the principle of chiropractic and how the body works and healing, that never changes. Mm-hmm. I feel like the greatest gift that was ever given to me from chiropractic was just a mindset of the body doesn't make mistakes. The body was born to heal and to self-regulate, and God gave us this amazing healing power, and let's just not put any interference in there. And if there is interference, let's remove it, and let's not continue to just, think about, well, what can I take and what can I take to be able to cover that up? Would you say that it's just kind of something that always kind of pops into your head now, like as far as like how you just see health?
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an example of maybe something that you would have done without chiropractic that maybe you wouldn't do now.
Yeah. So, something I would have done without chiropractic that I wouldn't do now. There was a string of times where I was, can I start over?
No.
No. Okay. Well, let's talk about Reed. So Reed had headaches, right? I took him to the doctor and I said, he's getting headaches 2 or 3 times a week. And it's not like just a normal headache either. Like they're migraines. They're putting him out. And they're like, well, he can take Advil. He can take Tylenol. He can do it. Well, that's great for the moment. It'll help him for a second. But then what? He keeps getting him. Is he just supposed to take Advil and Tylenol for his entire life? And they're like, well, at that point, let's take him to a headache specialist. And I was like, oh, good Lord. Like what are they going to do? They're going to put them on medicine.
Yeah.
And it was literally right at the time that we were coming into Revive. And, we talked about headaches. And I was like, we need to do this. And, we brought Reed in. And like 2 or 3 months later, he was headache free.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have headaches anymore. So instead of this agenda of, hey, just take the medicine, just do this. It's in the moment, but it's not getting to the root cause of the problem. Now I'm always looking at, okay, this is happening, but what's causing it? Like, yes, we can take this now or we can fix this now, but why does it keep happening? I had a string of sickness where I kept getting strep throat. Well, I had like 5 or 6 people say, hey, well, you should probably get your tonsils out.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I'd been like, oh gosh, you're probably right. Well, now I'm like, well, no, you're not taking anything out of me, but let's talk about why I keep getting this. So that way we can fix it and get to the root cause as to why it's happening. So the way that I look at sickness is different. If my, daughter has a headache or if they have a cold or a runny nose, I'm not giving them things for it. I'm saying, let's go get adjusted. But the great thing is that they're also saying that. They're like, you know what, Mommy, I think I need to get adjusted today. And they know that we get adjusted every week because that helps us not get sick or it keeps us stronger, our immune system's stronger. So that way we're not getting sick as much or for as long. We're in school, we get sick, we have the sniffles, all the things. But, when we get adjusted because we know that God created us to heal. We know that when we remove interference that things change.
Yeah. No, it's good. And even with my kids, even if it's not a health thing and they come home and something's going on at school, like I'm always kind of going back to just the principle of like, we don't cut corners and treat symptoms and whatever. We find the root cause and we have the hard conversation. And, so I think that those things just kind of transfer over, which is really cool. So next question here. Do you look at health for your family as like, a spiritual responsibility, like something, we talk about, the mind, the body, the spirit, like the Trinity, that your body is obviously, there's a spiritual component, but there's also a physical component. When I tell my boys, we eat this way, we get adjusted, we steward over the temple that God has given us, because really, when you think about it, our body's kind of on loan, like God, it's like a leased car.
Yeah.
Like you don't, my gosh, like Sam's cars, with all the kids in it and everything, there's boogers everywhere. And it's just like, there's old breakfast plates in the back and it, right? Oh my gosh. But we just wouldn't treat our body like that if we know that, hey, it was put on loan and God gave it to us for a reason, which was really the Great Commission, which is to go and to make disciples. So do you feel like, health is bigger than just like feeling good and just, being fit and, kids not getting sick, but it's more of a, almost like a spiritual responsibility?
Yeah, it's definitely that. Like the Lord entrusted me with my children, like they are a gift from him. And my calling is to take care of them and to teach them and to help them with their God-given potential, right? Like what they eat, how they are living, like what they're putting in their bodies, how they're moving their bodies. That's all important because then generationally, they're going to take that and they're going to do that with their children. So there's an opportunity for me through my faith and my trust in the Lord to take that and instill that in my children. And I would say 10 years ago, I didn't have bad intentions when, I was, doing things different with health or, I'll call out vaccines was a big one for me. I didn't have bad intentions when I did those things. I just didn't know. So now with them, like my challenge for them is to understand why they're doing certain things, to question certain things. If, they have questions as far as why do we eat this versus that? Why don't we do this and not do that? Just always to take it back to the Lord. Like our body is a temple. Like he created us in his image. And like you said, like we shouldn't just be, throwing the trash in the car and all the things. Like we need to take care of it. And, last night we had grass-fed burgers and peas.
You guys eat a lot of burgers.
We
right?
do. They love burgers, but they also love peas, which I think is so weird. I hate peas, but I
Like
eat
sugar
them.
snap peas or regular peas?
No, like peas, like green
Nice.
green peas, like
They
gross.
ever stick them up their nose?
Riley did once actually.
Yeah, I had to go to the emergency room when I was a kid because it was stuck up my nose like 4 times. So they had to take tweezers and get up there.
Yes.
So I just didn't. I could see Riley doing that.
Oh, she totally did. We were getting ready to leave for vacation, and I couldn't get it out, and she didn't know how to blow her nose. It was awful. Anyways, I called my mom. We ended up getting out. But furthermore, they love peas, and I'll eat peas. I hate peas because
Yeah.
I want them to keep eating them.
Yes.
But they were eating last night, and they're like, "Mommy, like this is good for me. I'm getting my protein." Da 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 da. And I'm like, "Yes, you are." But I love to hear things like that because they know that they're fueling body with things that are good for them. And it's not that we're perfect, right? Like,
Yeah.
but we do. We try. We try to make sure that we make good choices. I was talking about this with Rich last night. We were trick or treating. And Emma would go into the bowl and she'd pick a piece of candy and she'd go, "Oh, Mommy, this has red 40." She'd throw it back in the container and she'd just move on. And, we switch out that stuff. And like we try.
Yeah.
Like
it's good.
we try.
Well, you said something there that I thought was good is like, I just didn't know. Like I didn't know what I didn't know. And, the Bible says in Hebrews, like people will perish for a lack of knowledge because they just don't know. But I do think that there's that mom out there or that parent that does know, but they still just don't want to take the responsibility of maybe just living a life that might be a little harder, right? Like it's hard, I mean, and you and Sam, my Sam, can talk about this all day of like, it would be way easier, right? Just to swing by the drive-thru on the way home. It'd be way easier just to be like, okay, pediatrician, whatever you want to put in my child, I can fit into this group over here because everybody else is doing it, right? Like, you know what I mean? But to know the truth and to not act on that, I think that's where, we really are missing the boat, right? So I think having this knowledge of health and understanding it and then acting on it is just so important. But it's not easy, right? I just talk about, the hard of have to fight with your kids about maybe, and I would even say this, like coming to the chiropractor. Like I tell parents this all the time. Listen, I think I'm a good guy. I mean, our office is pretty inviting for families, but your kid's not always not going to want to come and get adjusted. And that's okay. But because you're their leader, hey, lay down on the table. It's time to get your nervous system turned back on. I know you would rather have Chick-fil-A on the way home, but Mommy has grass-fed burgers and we're going to talk about that hard.
Yeah. I remember so you actually talked to me about vaccines, right? So I'm going to start there. And I was laying on the table getting adjusted and you're like, "Oh, what are you doing today?" And I was like, "Oh, Andy has her 18-month appointment and she gets her shots today."
I remember this.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. And you're like, "Can you just do me a favor?" And I was like, "What?" And you're like, "Just read this book before you do anything. Just read this book." And I was like, "Dr. B, my kids don't eat like yours." And you're like, "It doesn't matter." And I was like, "Oh, like I just want to protect them, right?" So my heart's in the right place.
Sure.
Like I want to protect my kids, as every mom does, right? But I took that book home and I read it and I was horrified. I just couldn't believe like all the things that we were putting in our children, and almost unknowingly, unfortunately. I hate saying like that because it's kind of naive that I didn't know, but I didn't know that I couldn't trust those that were handing it out, So I went to the pediatrician that day and I told her, I was like, "You know what? I want to do a little more research on this before I move forward." And she's like, "Okay." And then she called me a couple weeks later and she's like, "Okay, like we need to get you in. We need to get Andy's 18-month shots." And I was like, "You know what? We're just going to skip it this time." She called me back a couple hours later and she's like, you know what? If you're not going to get your daughter vaccinated, we can't have her as a patient. And at that point, I was like infuriated. I was in tears because we were there. Like I was first time mom. Like it was like my safe source almost. Like I felt comfortable there.
Yeah, this is a pediatrician that you've had for a while.
Yep, since Andy was born.
Seen a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah. And my mom called and she was like, you just need to get her vaccinated.
Sure. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, because I want to make sure she can go to school. And I'm like, Mom, she's going to be able to go to school. Well, long story short, I finally was like, you know what? Kick me out. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that was the best decision that we've ever made. Like, I mean, just knowing that my kids are healthier because of that is worth the fight. And I think that you have to be willing to step out in that regardless of how hard it is. Because honestly, what's going to be harder is your kids get injured by a vaccine and then you're headed down that road. I mean, that's not easy either. Like you have to choose your hard.
Yeah, choose your hard.
So,
yeah, no, I think this kind of segues into the next question. Do you think that a lot of mothers feel pressured to like trust the system? You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, trust the system. Like this is the system. Whenever baby's born, in the eyes, this shot, this is the system. Doctors are out to help. Like, do you feel like there's like a lot of pressure there to like trust the system? I heard this the other day from a dad, and I feel like mothers have way more pressure than dads do because I don't know where this came from, and I don't know why this has happened in our culture. And I'm a doctor, so Sam and I have kind of trusted input on like what happens. But I feel like if your husband's not a doctor, then automatically all the health stuff and all the decisions and all that stuff goes to mom. Dad is like, hey, dad's working and providing and protecting, and there's so much pressure there, right? There's so much pressure there to be a good dad and to come home and to like turn it off and give hugs and kisses and get tackled by kids and to, bring money in and whatever. But then there's this pressure on mom to make sure that the kids are healthy. And do you feel like a lot of moms are like kind of forced to kind of trust that system? Like there's a lot of pressure there?
I feel like we don't talk about the system.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like Jesus and vaccines. We don't talk about those things.
No, we don't.
They're very offensive. It's very polarizing.
Yeah. Well, I just think about, so Andy, she was my first baby. She was vaccinated through her first year. She was C-section. I just trusted that the doctor knew what they were doing and that they had my best interest at heart. So I didn't even think to question them. So I feel like now, as we've gone through seasons of like COVID and just all the crazy in the world right now, there's been more questions. And now more than ever, I feel like there's more pressure to do that, to go the vaccination route, to go the medicine route, the doctor route, all the things.
You feel like there's more pressure now?
Oh, yeah.
Because they feel like it's crumbling.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
It's starting to kind of unravel with COVID and all the things, and it was like, wow, that's weird. And the same companies that came up with those vaccines are the same ones that came up with your child vaccine. So now it's like people are like, I don't know about this.
Well, and it's different now than it was then. So like when I was, 8 years old or whatever, I got like, I don't know, 17 or 18 vaccines, but now it's up to like 72.
Yeah.
And for what?
Yeah.
That number is horrifying.
Yeah, chicken pox is like, we don't want to get chicken pox anymore.
Awful. Yeah, I had them. They threw me in a room and we all got them. And it just was what it was. Like you just do it all at the same time and be done with it.
Yeah, and you're not old, but I think about 17 is like a lot. Like when I got 6, in 1986. So I was born in 84, and 86 is kind of when 6 was pretty standard. And that's when they passed the National Injury Vaccine Compensation Act, which basically protected pharmaceutical companies from any kind of liability for any injury. But I just, I think it's, the pressure of that, and sometimes I see a lot of moms who aren't like in our clinic and in a culture of empowering them to, hey, listen, ask the question. If you feel like there's something in your heart, even though the heart can sometimes lead us astray, but if you feel that kind of just it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? And I feel like I talked to a lot of moms who were like, it didn't feel right. And then I did it anyway because I was told basically I was a horrible mother if I didn't do it. And then all of a sudden something really bad happened. And now it's like, I don't know how to live with myself. But how have you been able, this isn't a great question for you because I love you because you don't really care about what anybody thinks. But what would you say to a mother out there who just feels like pressured? What kind of advice would you give her as far as like the system?
Just to do it. I mean, there have been tough times where it's like,
it's not easy.
No. And
I still question, I'm a chiropractor, I'm a doctor, I'm very well versed in physiology, but there are times when my kids have been sick and I've even had to kind of just take a step back and say, when your kid has a fever of 105, how much do I trust the body and my system? Now I'm not telling moms who are listening to this, if your kid has a fever of 105 that you should not do anything. I mean, I'm a doctor and so I'm a chiropractor and I can take care of that. But I just to segue, we still get scared at times. Like
gosh, yes.
Maybe fear isn't a good word, but it's still like we still kind of get the heebie-jeebies of like, oh boy. Like,
like, is that the right thing?
Yeah.
Like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is to protect your child. And for me, when I started to question everything, I felt like I was protecting my child. And it allowed me to have the decision of whatever I decide, whether that's to do something or not to do something, it's because I have the best interest of my child. And I've done the research and I've done the questioning and I've gotten the answers. Even when you've said something, which I trust you highly, I still look it up.
Sure.
I still question it. I still, get my own answer. But I've had doctors that have said, you need to do this right now because of this. And I question it. And I'm like, for what? How is that going to change or do something different based off of the answer that we're going to get here? You're just going to torture my child. You're going to test her for something that she doesn't need. You're going to, make her, Riley, she had RSV. And it was bad.
Yeah,
and there's times where I'm thankful for those systems because my daughter could have been hurt. Like, that was one of the worst times.
Yeah, she had pneumonia, I think, right?
She did. Yeah. I mean, she was in ICU, like all of it. And praise the Lord that we have those things when we need them.
Sure.
But we were in the ER for over 24 hours. They wanted to test her for all of these things, basically told me I'm the worst mom because I'm not doing it, when it wasn't going to change or do anything different based off of the result that they would have gotten.
Yeah.
And
if you would have gotten these protective things, then she wouldn't be where she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part. Like, I'm her mom.
Yeah.
And you are a doctor and I respect that, but I also deserve the respect to be able to understand why we need or want to do certain things, and to know that I'm going to choose for my child because they are my child. And those moments are hard, but you are mom and the Lord made you their mom for a reason, and fight for that always, regardless of what it is. Just know that what you're fighting for is what you want and what you want to fight for your children.
Yeah, because you're the one that has to live with that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? One of the greatest pieces of advice I ever got in chiropractic school was a pediatric professor that I had that said, it doesn't not matter how much you know about physiology, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how much we understand the body, because as chiropractors, we spend a lot more time than any other profession, anatomy, physiology, neuroanatomy. So we kind of understand the body because it's really all we have. Like, we can't give a medication to manipulate biochemistry. Like, we have to work with our hands. And so what he said was, never, ever, ever go against the innate wisdom of a mother. You may have your gut instinct, but then mama has her gut instinct, and you always go with mom. Like, there's an innate connection that you have with your kids because you birthed them. God decided to put them in your belly, and you had to go through that process. And so you know them, and you're connected to them in a different way. And so if a mom comes to me and says, I just don't really, I don't, there's something not right here. I'm like, you're right. There is something. Let me look into it. Let's look at this way. So it's good. It's good. moving on. Feel free to pop in and, ask
Yeah.
me whatever you want. How has Chiro Care shaped your view of health, the body, God-given ability to self-regulate, like without any interference? I think we've talked about that just a little bit, but I want to talk about this scripture that I go back to this a lot. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. Like as a Christian woman, worship pastor, somebody who is living kind of counterculturally health-wise, like, do you feel like as a mom, as a Christian, like there's something bigger than just I'm eating good so that way I can look good in a bikini? My kids are eating good so that way they cannot have the sniffles. Like, is there something deeper here with why it is that we're taking care of the body?
Yeah. I mean, I think it all goes back to, the one who created us. Like we were created in his image. We are given this body and we are responsible for it. Like he's entrusting us with taking care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to my kids. They're my ultimate calling. Like the Lord has called me to them. Like I'm their mother for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And, chiropractic is, I keep going back to it, just changed the trajectory of their lives. Like they're going to think different. They're going to act different. They're going to do different because God created this ability in us to heal. Like we aren't junk.
Yeah.
Like I always go back to like all things, God doesn't create junk. Like we are created so uniquely and so beautifully, and just like babies come out of us. Like that's incredible. Like but he also created us to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And through chiropractic, like I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that in all of our children. I've seen that in myself. When I started, I was, I talk about anxiety, depression. There's some triggers there that, help create some of that. But chiropractic was the first step on that road to healing for me.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that was? I mean, obviously, I know the neurological or like the physiology behind why a chiropractic adjustment could change neurochemistry, but I mean, I didn't really talk to you a whole lot about that. But why? Like, what was it for you that changed? Because for some people, the anxiety and depression just comes from hope and being told that your body can heal and that you don't need all these medications and things. Like you can do this. Like there's a culture of like praise and hope versus we'll just do what I say.
Yeah. Well, I believed it for
Sure.
one. So it made sense to me on paper.
Yeah.
It made sense as, like what you said, it made sense why a chiropractic adjustment would help.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was also consistent in it and I did what I was supposed to do. I got adjusted 3 times a week for quite a while. I did my home care. But then with that, and this is why I think Revive is so different, and I would choose Revive over any chiropractic office any day, regardless of whether or not I worked here, is, we talk about the 5 essentials. We talk about nutrition. We talk about toxicity. We talk about movement, just how we live our lives outside of everything and how that is all incorporated, and it coming back to, our body being that temple.
Mm-hmm.
Like the chiropractic adjustment is the foundation of it all. And then everything that we're feeling or doing with our bodies from there on is also going to play into that as well. And for me, you asked me one morning what I had for breakfast. I literally had cookies. That's what was on the counter. This is when I first started at the office. I wasn't kidding. It was like, that's what was there.
Sure. Don't lie to me. A lot of people lie to me.
Well, I don't. But that's what I had. That's what was there. And, then at the time I wouldn't look at myself and think, oh, you're overweight, you're unhealthy, da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of inside out, like, ew, it was awful. But then I also think of the connection, the gut, the brain, all the things. And I was suffering from anxiety and depression, but I never looked at that as being something that came from my gut or from my nervous system. Yeah.
An expression of how your body was functioning on the inside.
I just thought it was normal. That's just what happens.
It's funny because it's like we look at our bodies way different than we would treat our cars or our house. Like you don't clean your house. The kids, the kids don't flush the toilet.
Mm.
The trash overflows. A kid decides to pee in a bed and you just don't change the sheets. Someone walks in that house, they're going to be like, what is going on in here? It doesn't make it makes total sense for us to clean the house, disinfect it or whatever you want to do, and then because it's going to change the environment of it. But our bodies are different. It's like, let's just keep feeding it all kinds of stuff. We don't have to worry about any kind of cleansing or detoxing or removing any interference. But whenever I do get sick, I'll go to a doctor, and the doctor will give me something to mask it. When you are living in the world that you're living in now with the mindset that you have, doesn't that seem just so weird to you?
Now, yeah, it
Like,
does.
is it difficult, like it is for me sometimes, to even hang out with people who are? I'm like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's funny now because people look at me and they're like, really? You don't do that? Or like, it's like I'm the weird one.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I know, like for you, it's not easy to say, hey, like, read this book or do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just know too, like, had you not said that to me, like I would have had 3 vaccinated daughters.
Sure.
I would have had 3 C-section babies.
Yeah.
I would have had a household full of cookies and ice cream. And I remember we had Snickers and Reese ice cream. And this was after we came to the Nutrition 101.
Oh boy.
And we went home that day and Rich is like, we got to throw this out. And I'm like, what? Like, it's brand new. We just bought it. And so he's like, seriously? And so I literally took a spoonful of it and I started eating. I'm like, no, we just bought this. And then he's like, we've got to change. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I threw the spoon in the sink and I threw it all away. And I feel like that was the change in our household of like how we eat and how we...
Yeah, burn the ships, go all in.
Yes. Like you just have to. You just have to.
I think that well, you and Rich, I love, I had you on the show today because you're like all in. But in order to be all in, I think some people, they walk that line where it's like, I'm all in on some things, but I'm not all in on other things. Like I'll dabble in this, I'll dabble in that. I actually think that's sometimes even more dangerous because it leads to confusion. And they're like, well, I tried the chiropractic thing. I tried the 5 essentials thing. I did it, whatever, but I'm also doing this over here. And they're not able to really experience like really what that's like. Do you see that too?
Oh,
like
yeah.
just people just kind of being like, well, I tried it. But yeah, I didn't really try it. I missed half my chiropractic adjustments. I don't do my home care. I do my own nutritional thing. I take my supplements from Costco, but I tried the chiropractic thing. But for you, it was like, this makes sense. This is a system that we can follow. And it took time. It wasn't easy. There was some knockdown drag-outs over Doritos and whatever. And maybe there still is at times because we're human and we're flawed and we have choices. But the point is that you dove all in. And diving all in comes with its own set of hard because it's countercultural. Mm-hmm. You're looked at as the granola country weird person. But in the back of your head, it's like, wow, I'm very confident because I know that my body can work. Mm-hmm. And I have a system. Most people don't have any system. They just kind of leave it up to, well, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Talk about, I know we talked about this a little bit, like you were talking about maybe the question that you would ask me and what I would say to other chiropractors who maybe aren't doing this stuff. Because you said something to me that like forever changed my life at like points where I'm like, I want to quit. Like I love what I do, but I don't always love leading people who are difficult to lead. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating and it's exhausting. It's like trying to have a 2-year-old to get up on the table to get adjusted. It's like a fight sometimes. And you told me, you were like, you know what, Dr. B, like if you, like your chiropractic office, if I would have been in other offices chiropractically, then I probably still would have vaccinated my kids. I would have had C-sections. Talk about like what is different about Revive, maybe what's different from what you've seen. And I see this everywhere. I mean, the reason why chiropractic has not taken over healthcare yet is because we're fractioned. We're fractured as an organization. You have some chiropractors who want to have prescription rights to actually prescribe medication. which is absolutely absurd to me. You have some chiropractors that are like, hey, come in, get adjusted. We do a really great adjustment, but we're not going to talk about nutrition. We're not going to talk about vaccines, even though we don't vaccinate our kids and we do green juice and we do all those things. We just don't feel like it's our right to say that. We're not going to talk about exercise. And we have some that are, it's very fractured, right? Some won't even adjust your child because children don't get adjusted. Some only sell supplements but don't do chiropractic. It's a very broken organization, and we're trying to bring it together and have some type of a unison. But talk about like your experience in our office, maybe in other offices, and why it was kind of a turning point for you.
Yeah.
You don't need to name other offices.
Yeah, I won't. I've been to another office, great adjustments, like you said. To talk about home care for a second.
Sure.
I said, why don't we do home care? And they said, well, we just want to help you not get worse. So I'm going to take this a different direction for a second, and then I promise I'll come back. But so Andy, she's 8 years old now, and she had one of her first x-rays, and she's been adjusted since birth. And, her back at the bottom, her lower back is very straight.
Yeah,
like
she
she's
doesn't have
lost
that
a lot of the
natural
curve. So I think about, gosh, if we were at that other chiropractic office, they're not really helping her not get worse.
Yeah.
Sure. You can have all the great adjustments in the world, but if you don't have something that's going to strengthen and stabilize and pull things back, like you're not going to get better. Like an adjustment is great regardless. Yes. Don't get me wrong. But I want to fix the problem.
Sure.
And then when I asked them about, like they did home births, they eat, pretty good.
All chiropractors do.
Yeah. They don't vaccinate.
Yeah, all chiropractors do. I mean, most. But.
Yes. But I said, well, why don't we tell people that? And they're like, well, we don't want to stir the pot.
Sure.
And I'm like, what?
In Revive, we love to stir the pot.
Yes, stir it. You have to, because if you don't.
Because what happens whenever in the fiery furnace, when you stir the pot, what comes to the top? Imperfection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then change.
Yes.
Right. So.
But if you don't, like, if you hadn't said what you said or brought to the table what you brought to the table, as hard it is, sure. Like,
I lose people because of it.
Yes, but you know what? That's on them.
Sure.
Because if you didn't tell me, I probably would have vaccine injured kids. Andy had ear infections every month of her life for the first year until we even got tubes, and she still had them. And then we finally got adjusted and it went away. Imagine that.
I think about Emma Grace too, with like her gut stuff and just some of the
big time
metabolic stuff that she's got going on. And if like she's already kind of up here, you know what I mean? Like sympathetically. So kids like that. But that just always kind of rang true to me. You've got chiropractors that have Tootsie Rolls and meat sticks at the front desk, and people walk in and they're fast food. Like I'll go up to them and be like, hey, this is not a great thing for your body.
No.
Like we're trying to remove interference. We're trying to take as much interference away so your body can naturally heal. Like, let's sit down. Let's talk about that. Come to Nutrition 101. Come to the shopping tour that we're doing. Come be a part of our challenge. Come do these things. Let me help give you the tools necessary to be able to make those decisions. Like, we don't force people to do it. I mean, sometimes I wish I could, force people to come to these workshops and come to these things. But I always kind of had a really hard time. Like, I can't live with myself and lay my head down at night if I don't tell families what I'm doing. Like, this is what I do. Like, look in my fridge, or here's what we do every day. Like, I just, from a chiropractic standpoint, if you are a chiropractor and you're not talking about those things, number one, it's an ego. I don't feel like I need to, because whatever. And some will say, well, we need to refer out for that. And I'm like, in the world we live in today, where are you going to refer to? Because dietitians and all these people are, prescribing GL1P, weight loss drugs. And I mean, it's just a crazy world. So, I've always appreciated that in times whenever I'm like, man, am I making a difference? Or, this is really hard. I always go back to when you say, hey, I would have done all these things if I would have gone to another chiropractor. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're a chiropractor, I would just say, take a step back for a second and say, if I'm exercising every day because I value it, if I chose to have a natural birth, or if I chose to, not vaccinate my child and I'm walking in the office with green juice and I don't swing by Chick-fil-A and get the biscuits or whatever they have there, I mean, wouldn't I want to tell that to the people that are coming in? Because we talk about in the office, there's thoughts, there's traumas, and there's toxins, right? So if we're only going to address one avenue of subluxation, which is physical trauma from sitting at a desk, being in an iPad, whatever, but we don't address thoughts and the emotional instability. I mean, everything that's happened over the last, 4 or 5 years and all the stuff with Charlie Kirk and all these different things that are going on in the world. Like even our kids are coming home from school, in a Christian school, saying, who's this Charlie Kirk guy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many things that are going through a kid's head. If you don't talk about the emotional side of that, and then you combine that with the chemical side, what happens to an emotionally unstable mom who is anxious and depressed? She doesn't crave broccoli and grass-fed beef. She craves
cookies for breakfast,
peanut butter ice cream, right? So it's this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, well, why don't you just adjust me? I will, and I'll give you a great adjustment. And I think that's one of the most important things that we can give you. But we also have to understand there's other things that are affecting that system that's creating an interference. And I just have a hard time laying my head down at night knowing that I know this information, but I'm not going to teach it to you.
Yeah. I remember you were I think it was gum. And
yeah.
And I was like, what? Like this extra is bad for me? Like, oh man.
Yeah.
I just want people to tell me. Like just tell me. That's my ask. And like you truly have changed my family's lives.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them. Like
I appreciate that.
I would probably, like the road that I was headed down didn't feel like a bad road at the time, but
well, you were a Christian, you had a good head on your shoulders. You know where you're going.
Sure, but I'm not headed. I don't want to head there yet necessarily.
Yes, I always tell people that. Like I can't wait to go to heaven, but I just don't want to go there yet.
Yeah,
there's too much work to be done.
Yeah, but I would probably have, I'd probably have cancer. Like there were things I had, the amalgam fillings. I had implants. I had just awful diet. Like a lot of these things were in me that were creating those toxicity burdens, that was creating anxiety, creating depression. So through chiropractic as my foundation, and then all those things that you talk about, like that saved my life, like literally saved my life. And you had said one time, you're like, I bet you Rich is so mad at me right now.
Oh yeah.
Because all the money that we're spending. And I was like, no, like he's getting his wife back.
Yeah.
And like, that's more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation when someone says, well, I can't afford this. But I'm like, you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, cancel Disney, can't cancel whatever you got to cancel. And no offense, like I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that when your child or your wife or somebody has a chronic health condition, I mean, I get choked up when I think about this, but I always talk to the boys. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And they always, I remember when Zeke was like, can we play Legos? So it's like, they don't care, they don't care where they go, and they could care less what the house looks like and what kind of car you drive, really. They just want you to be there. Yeah. And if you're not there and you're not really there, because you can be there and not really be there, that's a problem. Yeah. And so I tell people, you can't put a price tag on your health. I know the world is crazy and everything is going up and whatever, but I say, hey, work harder and figure it out.
Make it work.
Make it work. Because if you lose your health, you lose everything. Yep. And I literally say that. You lose everything. Because someone would say, well, I mean, spiritually, you're not going to lose your spiritual health if you have committed your life to Jesus. But at the same time, just like you said, I don't want to go there yet. I've got work to do. Yep. Like we've got a lot of things that we want to get accomplished. I mean, Erica Kirk's a great example of that. Loses her husband, his birthday's today, and then she's like, okay, now it's time for me to step up. She could have said, hey, time for me to quit now. I'm going to sit in my bed all day and feel sorry for myself because of that. But now she's like, okay, now it's time to go to work. So I would tell her or anybody else, yeah, time to go to work. Take care of yourself. Yep. Because that mission that you're on as a mother, as anybody, is oftentimes cut short for a lot of people because of physical health problems.
Yeah.
And so anyway, any tips for moms trying to balance like fitness, chiro, nutrition, church, school, extracurricular activities? Like I just, you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some tangible things that moms can take away.
Use a calendar.
Okay. What kind of calendar?
Whatever you like.
Okay. Is it like a calendar that you and Rich see every day and like you look at it and like, or is it like a Google calendar that's like?
It's a paper calendar.
Got it. Paper. Yeah.
So I'm paper. I like to see it written down, crossed off.
Nice.
You will look at my planner and think, oh my word,
Yeah.
like there's so much there. But you have to do what's right for you. So if that's you and your hubby sharing a calendar and you guys cross things off together to be able to stay in communication, you do that. But whatever you do, calendar it out, write it down, put it on your phone, and then just do it. Okay. So if I have it in my book, I do it. Every Thursday I work out with Sam. I have it in my book because I like to cross it off. And if it's there, I do it. If it's not there, then I don't feel accountable to it sometimes.
Do you think that a lot of people put things in their calendar because it makes them feel really good about themselves, but yet they don't really finish anything?
Potentially. Depends on the person.
I mean, I just think that's a great life lesson. It's like I put it in my calendar. Yeah. If I'm not going to finish it, I'll put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
It's like it's in my calendar. I'm going to finish it. I may not like it.
Yeah.
I may not want to get up and work out with Sam, and I may not want to do this or go grab coffee with this person, but this person needs me, so I'm going to do it and I'm going to finish it. I think a lot of people start the race.
Yeah.
But they have a really hard time finishing the race. Yeah. So that's good. That's good.
I'd also say, do what you say you're going to do. So
you tell me that a lot. You've said that a lot.
I just think it's important, right? Like somebody's counting on you. So if you say you're going to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't say you're going to do it. And I do that a lot with my kids, right? They'll say, Mommy, can we do this today? And I really, because they hold me accountable.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm going to do it, I need to make sure I'm actually going to do it, whether that's a friend coming over or we're going to the park or we have to go shopping for something. And they say, well, you said on this day at this time that we're going to do this. So I very well look at my calendar to make sure that I can commit to that because, I want to do what I say I'm going to do.
That's good.
Don't overdo it. I'm a yes person. I say yes to almost everything. If I can fit it in, I do it. I mean, to the point where people are like, I can't believe you said yes to that. And that's a work in progress for me. I'm trying, say yes to not just good things, but the best things. Because everything might be a good thing, but it might not be the best thing right now, and that's okay. Yeah.
It's good. So a lot of calendar. Do you think a lot of like the calendar organization of your life, and then the meal planning and the different things like that? Those all are a little easier whenever your life has a bit of order.
Yeah. Every Sunday we go through and we say, when you talk about meal planning, we plan out our meals for the week. I do click lists because it's just easier.
What is it?
Kroger click list.
Nice.
Yep. They give me everything that I need. I don't overbuy. I get exactly what I want, and I don't have to spend time doing it, but I have it all there. You can, sometimes for breakfast, either I'll do my shakes or we'll do like an egg bake, and then you have it for the week. But
so don't just make one meal, but make multiple meals for multiple days.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
And then you both eat them, or you have breakfast ready for the kiddos. And it's not perfect. We're not perfect. Sure. Sometimes on a Wednesday night, I say I'm going to make tacos, and something happens, and we end up going to North Star instead. you know,
but it's not McDonald's.
No, it's not. And we try to choose things that are going to be better because I know one, it affects my kids and how they sleep. It affects how their attitudes are. Like, you talk about the hard road. Like, yeah, it's easier to run through McDonald's, but it's also not easier later on because things change with them when they eat that type of stuff. Yeah. So, but it's kind of fun. You go to North Star, you have a burger or whatever you're going to have, and it's a fun atmosphere, and it's time with your kids. So don't be afraid to change up what you have going on, but always have a plan in place if you're going to reroute.
Awesome. Would you say that your kids all eat the same thing? Rich eats the same thing. It's not like, well, this kid doesn't like this and like that. Do you guys kind of eat pretty across the board?
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes.
Because that's what a mom would tell me is that when I feel like I got to make different things for different people, I think that's one, because you probably have picky eaters because you didn't start with a great foundation. So there might be some gut issues there, but like it's not going to be easy to start because there's going to be people that are going to kick back. Like, what does this taste like? This is different. Why are we doing it this way? What would you say to the mom in that situation? Just kind of keep slow, steady, be consistent.
Yes.
Don't break.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, we, I don't know, I made like a meatloaf. It was a grass-fed burger with a really good ground turkey sausage. The girls had never had it before. They're like, it looked gross, but it tasted phenomenal. And obviously when something looks gross to a kid, they're like, that's disgusting. I don't want that.
Yeah, well, if it looks weird, it's like,
Yeah,
I can't eat
but
that.
you know what? Our rule is you try it. You have to try it. They all tried it and they loved it. Now, Emma, she's my hardest one, right? She's 4. They like sometimes what they like and they don't like what they don't like. And they're very, like, she tells me. But I always have a backup plan. And it's not, Fruit Loops. It's not, chips. It's, okay, how can I make sure that she gets some sort of healthy protein that's going to be quick, but also that I know that's going to be good for her. So I have that, on the side
chicken
burner.
nuggets from Costco or something.
Oh, Applegate. That's like our go-to. That's my backup plan.
Yep.
And they love them. And you know what? If they tried it and it just, they ate it, but it's just not from them, like, that's okay. Like, I get it. But I had something healthy for her on standby. I need to make sure she eats. Because if not, she's going to, I want chips. I want da-da-da-da. And, like, they need something that's going to fill them up. They're going to sleep better. They're going to feel better. They're not going to be as cranky. Like, just have a backup plan.
That's good. Well, Sam, I feel like, if you're a mom listening or anybody, I mean, they're just going to get a ton out of this. So I really appreciate you kind of being vulnerable and coming on and talking about it. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for your kids to grow up strong and for them to be leaders. And like you said, just carrying on that generation. I mean, you and I, our families love our families, but I wouldn't say that we've got, the most amazing kind of physical health knowledge. And so we've kind of had to look at our spouses and say, hey, now it's time for us to turn the tides and kind of turn the ships, because that kind of stops now. And, our kids are going to have a lot of really great foundations and tools. So thank you for being vulnerable and coming on today.
Thanks for having me. And thank you for being bold and, what you do, because it matters.
I appreciate that. So thank you so much. Well, we really appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any shows or questions or comments, what do you want to hear next? Let us know. On behalf of Sam and I, we hope that you have a healthy, happy, blessed day. Bye-bye.